Okay. I just did this interview with Bonnie Burroughs. She plays Gladys Corbin on the hit show General Hospital. We talked about a lot of different things, but one of the things we talked about that was very interesting is Steven Seagal. Yeah, and she's never really talked about Hard to Kill, a movie that they did together. She played his wife. And Steven Seagal was not a nice person. Anyway, enjoy the show.
Get out right out of your bed, that's your quicksand. Getting rid of anxiety and head, you can fix it. Rid of stigmas, all of them you said, we ain't listening. Just remember, try to do your best, you can win this. Maurice Benard, State of Mind.
State of Mind is amazing. Thank you guys for this again. I can't thank you enough because without that, well, not without that, because we kept going without it, but with it just means that you guys are really involved, and I love it. Today, if you like what you see, hit this button right here. There you go. There you go. Today, I have somebody who incredibly, well, she makes me laugh, and I love that. She's talented. She's on General Hospital. She plays my aunt.
Cousin.
I love it. I think my wife said it was my aunt last. I said, I think she plays Mike's sister.
It could. I'm not supposed to talk yet, am I?
You could talk. Go ahead. No, let me just introduce her because we're going to get into this, and I want to.
All right.
Bonnie Burroughs, how are ya?
Woo! I'm so happy and excited.
Let's get it on.
Okay.
So what are you?
Okay. My understanding is that I'm cousin Gladys, but I think I'm Mike's cousin.
Oh, you're Mike's cousin.
That's what I think. So, and I can never keep this like first cousin once removed. So that makes me, compared to Sonny, I'm not sure. Either first cousin once removed or second cousin or like there's something with the generations and the...
Yeah. Because I guess I'm going to blame my wife for telling me that you're Mike's sister.
I wanted to meet her because she's fun. We've just been texting back and forth, and she's delightful, great. As you know.
Yes, I've been with her for a little while.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I am originally from Atlanta. I mean, I'm kind of a product of the suburbs. I'm definitely a product of the South, but my dad worked for the phone company, and we would transfer back and forth, South Carolina, Atlanta, but always in sort of almost a generic suburban setting, you know.
You're the only child?
No, I'm oldest of 3 girls.
Only girls?
Yeah, only girls. My mother has 3 daughters and 6 granddaughters. That's it. My sister, one of my sister's jokes was that we don't do the Y chromosome. We're just inhospitable to the boys.
What?
I kind of wanted a boy. I have two daughters, and I kind of thought, I want to see what I could do with a boy.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out.
You know, I had 2 girls, and then I have a adopted daughter. Oh, yeah. But they told me that I was going to have another girl.
Yeah.
And I was cool.
Yeah.
I like girls.
Yeah.
And 3 girls is cool.
Yeah.
And then at the last minute, it's a boy. It was Joshua.
Yeah. And you can't imagine...
No, yeah,
the world without Joshua.
I love having a boy.
Yeah,
it's cool. But I would. You know, it's funny. I would say that I don't know how. I mean, you're happy with whatever. But 3 boys, I would have wanted a girl. But 3 girls, I would have been happy.
Yes, yeah. My husband is the oldest of 3 boys, so we're each the oldest of the 3. Yeah, I don't know. Different animals for sure.
Yeah. And then you grew up there. Let me get right into this.
Yes.
Any mental health in growing up?
No. That's short answer is no. I mean,
nobody knew anything back then.
That's true. No, and in the South, there was a real strict hierarchy of who's the boss. At home and at school, and it's yes ma'am and no sir, and you know, I mean, I'd say to my kids when they were little, if I had said that to my mother, do you know what would happen to me?
I know.
And, they would that would had no meaning to them. But, things were just more kind of cut and dried and clear.
Yeah, yeah.
Then, and I don't know if that was worse or better or.
I think there's good and bad in all that. Like, there's not a lot of discipline anymore.
Right.
And maybe at some point there was too much discipline.
I agree with you.
Right?
I think striking the balance is just the challenge of life. If you want to talk about yoga later, we can talk about.
We are going to talk about
okay,
yoga.
We'll talk about that later because I was talking about when I taught this morning. I was talking about balance as a theme, which I often do. But yeah, I think that's the tricky part. It's not way over here. It's not way over there. But it's an art form to find the balance in the middle, and it can change from day to day, and
Yeah, because like for me, I knew that I was not going to lay a hand on any of my kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that I accomplished.
Good.
Yeah. But, discipline, I think I could have been, I tried to discipline and then, maybe my wife was like, oh, well, just relax. You don't have to do that. And so then you kind of go wash your hands a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think you got to figure out how to do it.
Yes, and I was very imperfect. I often say to my yoga students too, if I had started practicing yoga when my children were younger, I would have yelled at them less. Not that I was a screaming, banshee
I get
and
it.
terrorized my children. I wasn't. But, I had some tantrums. I broke the visor in my car once
Yeah.
for people fighting in the
Yeah.
back seat. One's running late, the other one's yelling at her, I'm yelling at them, and, wham.
Yeah.
It's for you to say that you never struck your kids, good for you. And that was not a conscious vow that I made to myself, but I did. I think popped one of them on the butt once, and I punched the other one in the shoulder once. Yes, I'm not kidding.
That's amazing.
And the little one, the one who got punched in the shoulder, so this is true confessions, when she was about 1.5, I remember thinking, because this child was born in the car, so she launched herself into the world.
Really? In the car?
Mm-hmm.
You were driving in the...
Yes, my husband was driving. Yes, I can tell you more gory details later if you want.
This is amazing.
I'll never have a better story than that. But, so, to me that indicated this is a strong personality. And she's a delightful and sweet person. And when she was a toddler, I think less than 2 years old, I remember thinking, I cannot be afraid of this person. I got to be the boss around here. She can't.
She was that tough?
Pretty like willful.
Wow.
More than once, my husband, we'd be in a restaurant and she'd be acting up, and my husband would very calmly say, we can go sit in the car. Everybody else can have dinner, and you and I can just go sit in the car. And he meant it. The time that I punched her in the shoulder was taking her, she was about 3, and I auditioned in Hollywood, and she would not get her ass back in the car seat. I mean, like this business, just wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's wrong, and I shouldn't have done it. But I didn't hurt her.
No,
I didn't break a
right.
bone or bruise her. But I was just like, and I think I don't know.
And you
Everybody's
felt how after...
horrible. And I think that's why I tell the story occasionally. I think I'm still confessing, and she would laugh if she was sitting here, but
Yeah.
I don't think she remembers it. And again, I didn't beat her ass, but everybody's got some rage.
Oh, you think? You think?
So maybe circling around to your question. So no so-called mental health issues, but
But there's rage.
human shit and rage.
Yeah. I tell the story, but I like telling it because I think it's interesting. My son Joshua was a pain in the ass from 8 to 9, 10, whatever it was. It was like, oh man. And at that time, Bonnie, you didn't know me.
No.
And if you think, I don't know if you think I'm intense now, triple it
Okay.
because I was just dark.
How old is Joshua? I'm trying to do the math.
He's 18.
Okay, so like we're talking like 9-10 years
Yeah,
ago.
but you know, I've changed in the last couple of years. But I knew you even before a couple of years.
Yeah, about
So-
4 years ago we
So
met.
maybe when we first met, I'm probably different than I am now. I would. Okay, we'll get into that.
Okay.
That's what I want to get into.
Okay.
So it was just, and so I remember one time he was really bad at a Thai restaurant, and I said, let's go, and we left, and then I don't forget what he was saying, and he looked like a little, you know,
Demon.
and he got in the phone. I took the phone, threw it in the back, and then he said something that got me upset, and he ran into the bathroom. Oh, man, I hit the bathroom. Finally, they opened the door. Him and his sister were in there. And, you know, he's not even scared. And I was, like, upset. Like,
Wow.
and I'm like, you know what? So I left. So then that would happen. And then one time we're in the car. We're arguing about something. And I'll never forget because it's pretty cool. I finally stopped yelling, and I looked at him and I said, I can't do this, buddy. I don't know how to do this. Can you just let me know how I can do this? And he looked at me and he said, just like you're doing, Dad.
Whoa.
That's how we
Child was the teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Just like
Yeah,
you're doing. Just
yes.
talking. Just talk to me. And then we figured it out. And then once he got into acting, it all changed. And then we became kind of, everything's cool.
Yeah.
But, so I learned from that.
Yes.
There's a few other things that I haven't learned yet, but it's difficult, right?
Oh, so
Because I always say you see the mistakes you've made through your kids.
they're mirrors. They are.
And you go, I messed up there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%. Now, I will say, despite just describing my, not my proudest moment of parenthood, my two girls are, I got an easy hand. I've got
Now
a
they're
very
great.
easy hand. Yeah, they're great.
How come I've never met him, or have I?
Well, I think mostly because of COVID. I mean, the one I'm referring to is going to be around over the summer. I'm going to see if they'll let her visit the set.
Yeah,
because
I
it would
wanna-
mean so much to
Well,
her.
now they can.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But yeah, they're easy. They
How old?
23, 22, and 24.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they going to get married, or?
Well, one has let's see, and in August they'll both turn 23 and 25. The one, the older one, has a boyfriend who we love, but I don't want to pressure her.
Yeah.
I know you have grandchildren. I'm jealous
Oh, they're great. Yeah.
because I started late. I'm 62. I had my first kid when I was 37. So, and I'm healthy and I take good care of myself and so forth. But I'm like, I want to. I want to have some grandkids where I can throw them up in the air and catch them.
They're so cute.
I see that.
Yeah.
I see that with you, and what a joy.
It is a joy, yeah.
Yeah.
And they can just go off.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
them
No.
off
Right. You're tired.
right
All right.
after.
Bye. Yeah.
So how'd you start acting?
I was one of those super shy, like introverted in school, very few friends, so the drama club was my little outlet. I mean, I didn't
In high school?
in high school. I did not get asked to the prom, and at that time and in that place in the 70s in the South, a boy had to ask you. You would,
Yeah.
So I went on one date in high school. But
And how was that to deal with? Or you're
You
cool?
know, I didn't love it, but it wasn't
It
great.
didn't get you.
I didn't feel, I was not depressed, but I also wasn't thriving socially. I was just sort of social, didn't know anything.
Yeah.
But drama club was cool. And then I was all set to go to college. I was all set to go to University of Georgia, but I kind of got cold feet because I thought it's going to be like high school part 2 socially. And I'm not down with that because I floundered socially, or I just was nobody socially. And so my mom was like, well, there's a regional audition for a drama school in New York. We can go to Tennessee and you can do the audition if you want to. And so I just kind of thought, okay. And I did that.
You booked it?
I did a regional audition and I got into the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York.
Oh.
Which I loved. You know, I don't know that it was all that difficult to get into that school. Let me just say that. No, not throwing shade on the school. It was great. But, you know, it wasn't like a burning desire, Mo. It was kind of like, I guess I'll do this, which feels like a weird thing to say because I think for a lot of actors, it was the thing that they had to do. And I don't feel that way about it. I enjoy it.
But that's actually pretty good for your mental state.
Probably. It probably is. I mean, you know, we see people.
I get
ever since I moved to Hollywood, I moved to LA in '88. I mean, I've been here for a long time. And even before homelessness exploded in recent years, you know, there have always been characters staggering around Hollywood who just, to me, always look like, well, there's a casualty of the business.
I know.
You know, who knows what the story is.
Exactly, yeah. It's sad. I think the same thing.
Yeah. It could.
Like, and it's also like, I think, like, there's a lot of Marlon Brandos working at Target, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Right. Oh, exactly.
Same with homeless.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know their stories.
No. We could talk about that later, too, because I do some volunteering that means a
you
lot
do?
to me with homeless folks. So
Okay. Oh, I'd love to
that
get
later if
into
you want
that.
to.
Yeah, I'd love to get into that.
Yeah.
So you did, because I looked it up, you did Hard to Kill with Steven Seagal.
And my affectionate nickname for that movie is Hard to Stomach. Now, it's the thing. It's the thing that most people have probably seen me in. People love that stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
But he's supposedly how'd I say it? Not a nice person.
I don't think it's a secret.
Okay, yeah, he's just a.
And if I'm not mistaken, I mean, I don't know how accurate we have to. This isn't, you know, CNN, so I could say something that's wrong.
Yeah.
The last I heard, he was in Russia cuddling up to Vladimir Putin.
Probably, but he's cuddled up to a bunch of weird people.
Yes, he's cuddled up to a bunch.
And
of
you met him?
I played his wife. Who gets?
Wait a minute!
Yes, no, I got killed in the first few minutes of the movie.
But you
We're
played
in
his
a
wife.
love scene. We're doing.
Oh
we're in bed.
no! Oh, I want to hear this.
Oh, it's no. We're.
Bonnie, what? Okay, I want to hear. Hold on. I know this is like crazy.
No, I'll tell you some stuff.
From the beginning, I want to hear you got the call to be in Hard to Kill with Steven Seagal. Now, you knew Steven Seagal was at that time because he had done another movie, right?
I think he'd done one
movie.
other one.
Yeah, he played Nico in this movie.
And it was like a, B movie.
Yeah, but
kind of
he's
a
good
sleeper
fighting.
hit. And this one was like still a B movie, but a little bit more budget.
So
It was
you
Warner
said,
Brothers.
yeah.
Okay, so I go into audition. This was 1989 that I went to audition at Warner Brothers. And the director was in the room, and Steven Seagal was in the room. You know, he's a big guy.
Big guy.
6'5" or 6" or whatever.
And then thinner. Well,
Yes,
yeah.
And so I shake his hand, and I said, oh, big hand. And he said, you know what they say. And I said, big hand, big glove.
Oh.
And he burst out laughing.
He did?
And I think that's why I got the job.
Did you read with him?
Yeah.
He's not he's kind of just a.
No, he's a martial artist. He's a legit martial
But he
artist.
says his lines pretty good.
He does.
He doesn't overdo anything. He just kind of says it. Okay, so then you get the job.
Yeah, and I called my mother and I said, I'm going to be in the movies. I was so excited.
Hold on, Bonnie. That's a big deal, though. It's a studio movie.
It was a big deal.
Steven Seagal wasn't Steven Seagal the jerk then. He was like Steven Seagal. The first movie was a hit.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's Hard to Kill?
Yeah.
And now Bonnie's playing the wife.
Yeah. Yes. No, it was cool. Now, you see what you want to do with this later, but I was definitely sexually harassed. I mean, straight up. But I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't want to jeopardize the job.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and I'm not.
What a
I don't mean
jerk
I was not raped.
No,
so
no,
I don't
no,
wanna
no,
say that,
no.
But I was. I mean, there was unambiguously inappropriate treatment that I kept my mouth shut about. You know.
But everybody did.
Yes, I think everybody did back then.
And it probably wouldn't happen now because people are talking about it.
Thank you. Exactly.
But back then, you were like everybody else. Now, was he just talking to you in a sexual way or trying to touch?
Well, okay, so we're doing this love scene. I mean, it's
Oh,
really,
that's right.
yeah, we're doing a love scene. I mean, we're both dressed.
Yeah.
He's more dressed than I am. But in between takes, so the blocking, and there was no intimacy coordinator back then either. So the blocking is that, you know, I'm on top of him and, you know, so I'd have to be off of him because they would come in and shoot me, and then I would have to, you know, reset and climb on top of him. And he was like helping me get on top of him. I didn't obviously need help. Getting into position, such bullshit.
And you're
again,
young.
I don't mind talking about it now because it's important, and also because, like you say, everybody knows it. Steven Seagal.
Everybody knows, yeah. So it's probably not even a big deal, but it is a big deal to talk about it because, you know, you never know who's listening, who maybe still doesn't want to talk about it. By hearing you talk about it, is making it easier for them to talk about it.
Thank you.
And
I don't know if I've mentioned it I mean, my kids know what I think of Steven Seagal. I don't know if they know even that much. I could say a bit more, but I won't. But I don't. It'll be interesting to see what they think of this because they'll be watching this. And
I think. Well, now it just justifies what I thought anyway. But I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you.
It's just bullshit. I don't like that shit.
Oh no.
Even I would try to kick his ass. Even probably I can't, but he's a big dude and knows that stuff.
You could wither him with a.
He knows karate. I know crazy.
See, rock
You
paper
like that,
scissors,
Anthony?
baby. Crazy whoop karate's ass every day.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I also took karate for 3 years. So you finished that movie. Now, did you have any kind of a career No?
No, I mean,
Jesus, at that time, I would have died to get that role. Not that, you know what I mean, a role like that.
You kind of think you're on your way.
Yeah.
And maybe some people were, but no, I mean, my work has been kind of steady, and so I never got another big movie. I've done small parts.
But you did Easy A.
I did a small part in Easy A, which was that's a very good movie. My part was.
I love that movie.
I was on the movie for one day. But this is another great movie that everybody loves.
Did you meet Emma Stone?
I just saw her in the makeup trailer, and it was fascinating because she was quite young at the time. And I don't know when this movie was. I don't know. I had young children, I think. But she was, so that means I was in my early to mid 40s. And she was young, but she had this confidence.
You saw it?
Yes. And I still,
what
that
was
fascinates me. You might know better than I do. I mean,
she probably has a few that I have now that it's taken me 58 years to get, which is I don't care what people think.
Yes. How does a young person get that?
I think a lot of people are born with it. That's an interesting conversation we're going to have right now because you know why? I talk about it all the time. Talked about it just last state of mind. I believe there's a correlation. Not always, but I looked it up and I was right. Between people who care about what people think and mental illness. If you don't care about what people think, usually you don't have mental illness. Because what happens is the more you care about what people think, it adds to all the stuff.
Right.
And then if you, like me, who always cared so much what people thought, you have to understand that when I would have a nervous breakdown or anxiety or depression, it's not only that I had it, now I'm thinking about what are you going to think and what is he going to think and what is everybody going to think.
So compounding.
Yeah, compounding the whole thing. So during the pandemic, and if you can imagine, I'm huge in social media, right?
Yes.
Then I wouldn't put out anything. If I put out a picture, my mind was like, because I was going through so much.
Right.
So when you get rid of that,
Yes.
see that, Bonnie?
Yes, choir of angels.
So I don't know how we got on this one,
So, do you think, Mo, is it a feature of being at a later stage of life? What are the factors that? I mean, it sounds
Yeah.
like you've had an epiphany, a breakthrough, or
Okay.
a combination of things. What is it?
I'll tell you what it is. Say I've just made up this saying that I love, and too bad I didn't put in this song this guy wrote for me. I think you have to go through hell more than once to figure out who you are. And I've been through hell like a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And the pandemic was the worst hell because I had anxiety and it was ugly and I was shaking.
Because of the isolation of it?
No. A lot of things happened. I had a book that I was supposed to tour with, couldn't do it. GH shut down. I've been working 30 years. The end of the world in my mind.
Yes.
My mom and dad moved out of my house. That's about it. But that was enough to feel a rush. Mm-hmm. When my wife told me that night I was shaking like a leaf, and every day thoughts of ending my life, how I would do it.
I've heard you talk about that.
Yeah, yes. Well, I think we might have talked about it. So, and then when you go through that, I think the closer you are to death, if you can get through that, your life will open up. Mm-hmm. If you're smart.
Right.
Because sometimes some people go on this road.
Right.
Not that road, right?
Right.
If you go on, like I've taken the right road, if you can just imagine what has happened to me since the pandemic. Yeah. I mean, I'm not bragging. I'm just being,
Please.
Okay, 2 Emmys.
You're sharing secrets. You're
right. 2 Emmys, New York Times bestseller, created this show.
Yes.
That would not have happened because I wouldn't be here.
Right. No, I know.
So
that must almost scare you sometimes when you think about that, like everything that would not have happened.
Yeah, but that's another thing. This is great talk we're having right here. That's another thing. I don't have a lot of fear anymore. Right?
Yes.
I used to have fear for everything.
Yes.
Fear to fly, fear to do, appearances across the country, fear to speak. I could do it.
Right.
Fear to act. I was always...
Fear to act, but you've been acting... You've been acclaimed and successful as an actor for such a very long time.
But it was with a lot of baggage. When you first met me, you probably saw a different light than you do now. Tell me what you saw.
Well, I was intimidated.
Right.
Not that you were not unkind. You were fine.
Yeah.
But I knew I was working with the HMIC.
Yeah.
I knew that. Yeah, and it's a.
But it was darker.
Yes, definitely it was darker.
But see, some people may think that, and I'm glad this probably happened a lot. He's just that character. He's Sonny. He's becoming this. But in reality, it was who I was then was
like
dark
shimmering through
and
dark,
intense and
leaking
rage
out.
Yes.
Wow.
If I how can I say it? But if I liked you, I was great and stuff. But especially with acting, all that stuff would. If I could have been my whole career like I've been in the last 2.5 years, oh man.
Yeah.
I would have been like, son of a.
But then everything that did happen led you to this moment. And
I get it.
Can I ask you another question? Even though
you can ask me anything you want, I
you're
love
the
it.
one asking questions. Do you think, because it's not hard to look at great artists and people who, are just distinguished and accomplished and recognized and do great work. A lot of them have serious shit, and it's as a person who. How much do you think that can kind of be a factor in making good art, you know?
That's the thing, you see, because people ask me all the time, you know, how is it being bipolar and your character's bipolar? I said, look, I'm a method actor. That's how I trained.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been fantastic for my acting, but not for my life.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, I'm the actor who gets in there and deep, and you know, he does all this stuff, and especially when I was younger, I would take it home, I would do that, but my life would suffered.
Yes. Yes.
We talked about balance.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got to find, the balance. Mm-hmm. Now I think I have the balance, but the show's different now. You didn't know when I first started the show, I was on 5 days a week. And talking 8-page scenes with monologues. It was hard.
Right.
But you know, I'm Sonny. I got to do it. Get in there. I remember sitting there. You know Tony Gary, right?
Yes.
Plays Luke.
Yes.
I said, Tony, it's 15 years in. I said, Tony, I can't do this anymore, man. He goes, what's wrong? I said, I'm dead. He goes, listen. I said, Tony, how'd you do it? I said, you were at the height, 30 million people watching. He goes, Maurice, I would leave for 5 years, 3 years, a year, whatever. I would leave. You have not left. And that was 15 years ago.
Right.
And I still haven't.
Right.
Here's what saved me, though. When Frank Valentini came in, the show is now different.
Yeah.
It's not just Sonny, Carly, Jason.
Right.
It's all, so I'm not working as much. It's 2-page scenes. It's this, it's that. Only in the Alzheimer's did I have to do a lot. But, so that kind of really helped me.
Yeah.
Because it's too much.
Oh, yeah. Right. Burnout.
But especially when you use who you are or your illness.
Yes. Yes.
For the
Yeah.
That's why I kind of don't want to do other acting jobs, man. It's too hard.
You don't need to.
I know, but Bonnie, there was a time my ego, I had to do other stuff to show everybody.
Yes.
I can do movies.
Yeah, yeah.
I can do other jobs.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then you go out and do them, and you're like, I'm cool here.
Yeah. Right. Laura Wright, Carly.
Laura, right? Oh, yeah, Carly, yeah.
She said a thing. I don't think she was trying to. It's something she said the first time I worked with her was so. It felt like such a gift to me, because I was still rather nervous. You know, I didn't know how long I was going to be around. I still don't know how long I'm going to be around.
How long you been there?
4 years, recurring. Almost 4 years. Yeah, I know. And
That's
I feel
a lot.
super lucky.
I know you are.
I am super lucky. I'll say more about my thinking about General Hospital if you want to hear it. But what did she say? She was giving me some, like, your camera's over there. She's very, because I'm very slow that way, not my forte, and she's trying to help me out. And I thanked her and whatever. And she said something like, because Grey's Anatomy tapes shoots on the same lot where GH tapes, and she said, oh yeah, well, I've been doing this forever. If I was on Grey's Anatomy, I'd probably shit my pants. And I just thought, for a big giant daytime star like her, to say that she would feel vulnerable in a different setting, I don't know, it felt like such a sweet thing to say, and like a gift to a little, day player
I get
at
it.
the time.
But it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, as good as I think I am, when I go on other sets, I always feel that you got to convince people in a scene you're not the soap actor.
Yeah.
It's true.
Terrible.
Right?
I mean, you shouldn't have to have that burden.
No,
but
especially I'm like as subtle in the whole thing.
Yes.
But they don't. I always feel this thing of, that's the guy in a soap opera. Yeah. But you do one scene, right? I've worked with Mickey Rourke in a movie. I played John Gotti, and although that woman hated me, we won't get into that because I've gotten into that so much. But you do a scene, like maybe a deep scene or a yelling scene, and then it shuts. Everybody's it's silent, and it's like, oh, this is different. But you got to do that because we still have the stigma.
Yes.
And I don't like the pressure of. I always feel like I'm the new kid in school when I go to another.
Yeah.
And I don't like.
Well, that's been my whole career. So, you know, my whole career.
But
has
you're
been-
used to it.
I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But what a thing I love about this job, and I love pretty much everything about it. I'm not just saying that. A thing I love about it is it's my first time I've been in Screen Actors Guild since 1983 for 40 years.
Damn.
It's my first time in all those years of where I feel like I'm part of the company.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. That's just
4
it's a
years.
privilege. Yeah, I've done over 100 episodes, and
Jeez.
I don't have to feel, you know, just freaked out every time I show up to work now.
Yeah.
I do my homework and I prepare, and
Yeah.
you know, certain things do feel, you know, kind of a little challenging and scary, but at least I don't feel like. I always felt like kind of Gal Friday on all my other gigs. You know, you don't get close to them because they don't have time to get close to you.
Max Gale was on 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
you're on 4 years.
Yeah.
I know he had the whole thing, but
Yeah.
let's talk about yoga.
Yeah.
How that helps.
Well, it's a cliche to say, but I mean, it's the thing about yoga is it's obviously not just the body. It's also the mind and the energy and
you're an instructor.
I am. Yeah.
So she's an instructor, a yoga instructor.
Yes. Yeah, and I have a lot of humility about that. I mean, I've had some great teachers, and I wouldn't put myself in the same category as them. But
What makes somebody a great teacher?
Oh,
They've been doing it longer?
Certainly been doing it longer, although I've been doing it for 9 years now. But I mean,
Dang.
one of my mentors, you know, like she's quite a student of all the ancient texts, you know, the Yoga Sutras and the Bhagavad Gita and all this, you know, this.
Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah. These ancient texts, so the Bhagavad Gita tells the story of the hero's journey, you know. But she's great, or Hindu stories of, you know, Shiva and the destroyer gods and all these great stories that are sort of connected with yoga.
Yeah.
Although yoga is not a religion, but so the person I'm thinking of, and other teachers are really facile and poetic about weaving that stuff into their teaching. That's not really my forte, but I do try to remind students of the opportunity on your mat to just be super present, to just be right there. We're just trying to be here now, which
And how
is so
many
hard.
people do you teach at a time?
The studio where I teach, you can fit probably, I mean, it would be crowded with 25, 30 people in there.
You're teaching that
the
many
room.
people?
Today I had 20 people in the room and 8 people online. Yeah. And it's fun. I mean, I love the community energy. I love the energy of being with the people.
So you're legit, like.
Thank you. I am legit.
Well, I mean-
I am legit. Yeah, and I do enjoy it.
I hear from everyone how great yoga is.
Jeff, I watched your Jeff Kober
Oh yeah, he was.
State of Mind. I watched a bunch of
He
them.
was
I enjoyed all of them.
Thank
It's
you.
so fun because initially I picked people that I am acquainted with, at least whether from the set or just I know them, so naturally I picked those people, and then I've watched some with people I don't know, and in every single case, something was surprising and or more interesting and or I liked them better even than I thought I would. So
That's the cool part about doing this, and I'm not joking. If somebody's on a fence whether they like you or something, my show, because I got analytics, is 98% like, and always. But
right on.
They,
You found another calling, Mo.
yeah,
It's so exciting.
it is. But I want you guys to be. I want you guys. If anybody's on the fence after watching, and it usually happens, they like you more.
Cool. Cool.
And not that even your character. You know what I mean? Even when your characters,
Well,
Gladys.
No, you can give me some coaching about that either here or in another setting.
Yeah.
But Jeff said something that's, I mean, because he teaches meditation.
Yeah.
I loved what he said. This is like when I try and tell a joke, I start telling it and then I forget. Oh, he said a funny thing, and I don't remember who he was quoting. He said, you can look at the past and you can look at the future. You just can't stare at them.
I know. I
And that
love
cracked
that.
you up, and that cracked me up too. But that's really kind of what we're trying to do is, and I heard you mention Eckhart Tolle in one of your.
Love Eckhart
I mean,
Tolle.
he's my hero.
He's badass.
He's a badass.
Yeah.
Power of now.
All that
All that.
stuff,
I mean,
yeah.
just
It's
now.
all about being out of
it's
your-
really the only moment that we have. Very hard to.
Yeah, and that's
hang on
why
to that.
with anxiety and depression, you're just out of you're not in the moment. Yeah. You're in your thoughts. So if you stay in the moment, I would, well, I've been good for 2.5 years. That won't happen.
Right.
It's only when you get out of the moment that anxiety, depression, not I haven't had a nervous breakdown in 30 years, so I'm good there. But that's,
Do you like, so you say you haven't done yoga, cool. Do you have tools now, strategies, like if you feel yourself either going a little dark or do you have something that
a big part of how I judge myself is how I sleep. And I can pretty much tell, and my sleep has been pretty damn good for over 2 years.
Oh, good.
I haven't gone to therapy, but I don't recommend it. Please go to therapy.
Yep.
It's just, this is my therapy.
Yeah.
This is where I talk.
Yeah.
And I cry and everything. So this has been great. And I've been good for a long time. Don't do yoga. I do work out, and
Yes.
I do walking and sprints. I eat pretty good.
Sleep is huge.
But sleep is when I know, because I have sleep apnea.
Okay. All
So
right.
it's like,
Yeah.
and I don't wear the mask. I haven't worn the mask.
Okay.
And
Do you tape your mouth shut? Does
no,
Paula just elbow you in the ribs?
no, I think I've been good, maybe before, but I was wearing the mask before.
Okay. All right.
But I haven't, and I'm sleeping pretty damn good. Wow. Like I used to wake up in the middle of the night and freak out, right? And oh no, I gotta wake up at 6 to go to work, and that makes it worse. So now I wake up and I'm like, all right, I'll stay up, watch TV,
Okay.
and then I fall asleep when I fall asleep.
Okay.
But there's none of that. We got to stop worrying, man. Right?
The
Yes.
just the circular thinking and the
Yes.
yeah.
We got to just be right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not thinking about anything here.
Right. No. It's so nice.
Bam, bam,
Yeah, exactly.
But it's hard, Bonnie, to get there.
Well, I'm liking this phase of life.
Yeah.
If you were a woman interviewing me, I would get into it with you. I'd be more inclined to get into it with you in terms of being a woman who's aging.
Yeah.
But, as a person that makes his living in front of the camera, I'm sure you have
Yeah.
your own,
Well, for a
insecurities that
woman, it must be a pain and very difficult to.
Yes.
Because I just, look, and I'm not just saying this. I find I love women, but I just love women that have good hearts. I don't care how you look, man.
Right.
If you,
Right.
you could be beautiful and not have a good heart. I don't like you.
Right. Exactly. No, I'm with you.
So I'm,
Yes.
is that what we're kind of getting at here?
Yes. Yes. Definitely. That's the real stuff. That's what's important. Also, despite my insecurities about aging and what happens physically as you age, otherwise, everything gets better in my experience because I do care less what people think.
Yeah.
I know how to say no.
Right.
So all that stuff is getting easier and easier, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but we're in a world of, it's all about although I do a lot of social media, but it also, social media, everything is about how you look, and things get difficult that way, don't they?
They do. But if you're adding content to social media that's not that, that's not,
Yeah.
Mo in a bikini with a bunch of filters on.
But you know what?
Then you are, you're helping to create
I
more
get it.
balance in social media.
I get it, yeah.
Like.
But I'm 60, right?
I'm 62, or.
And I just had this conversation. I don't know when it was, but every commercial in there on TV now, I have. Okay. So.
Side effects may include.
Oh, if you're bipolar 1, if you have anxiety, if you're depressed, if you have sleep apnea, if you have, I won't mention that one. I mean, I got them all.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I don't care. But it's an interesting topic we're talking right now. But what if it was stuff that you could see? How would I feel?
Right. Right.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've never brought this up in State of Mind, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly.
What if it's not the invisible stuff that I have?
Right.
Okay? So, although, psoriasis, you can't really see it, put makeup on it. Bipolar, you don't see. You don't see anxiety. You don't see depression. We won't get into the other thing. And sleep apnea, you don't see.
Right. Right.
So maybe that's why I'm so cool and going, well, I got it all, but it doesn't bother me. Well, it doesn't bother you because nobody sees it.
Right. Excellent point. That's a really good point. And we're all, if we're lucky, it's all going to go. I say, I'll joke to my kids or close friends or whatever, when I get to the point where I don't recognize you and I'm in a diaper and you're having to clean me up, just push me off a bridge. But I don't know if that's how I'm going to feel at that point, but it's all just going to disintegrate. We're all going to, hey, you're a good looking guy. I still got it kind of, but I want to be 95.
And
it's
Bonnie,
it's going to be, it's
yeah,
going to
but
fucking fall apart.
Listen to everybody
Gotta
out
embrace
there.
it.
Yes, everybody out there. We're going to conclude this conversation because Bonnie's a big star and she needs to get out of here. I want to say this to everybody out there who's older, who's 70, 80, whatever. If you're on the right path, the older we get, the more we accept.
Yeah. Yes.
So if we get not attractive or uglier or heavier or we're going to, now we're 80, 90, it doesn't matter because the wisdom comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So but maybe there are some people that won't happen though, Bonnie. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Because they're not, they don't know how to. But I think you and me, we're gonna be fine.
Yes.
Because we're just gonna get older, and we're gonna go, okay, well we're old.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we look like this, we look like that. That's all right. And then we're gonna go gracefully.
That is my plan.
It's gonna happen because you're already manifesting it. Damn, I just use manifesting. That's like Joe Rogan.
Is that one of his favorite words?
No, I'm just guessing. All right, listen, I want to say about Bonnie, because we've had a really nice talk here. She's, I love working with her because she makes me laugh.
Thank you.
I like to mess with her. And Gladys is Gladys. It's kind of like Lucille Ball, and you guys know I played Desi Arnaz. So I love that, but I love doing State of Mind so much with her because she's just pleasant. If it's a word I can use for her, it's just pleasant.
Thank you.
All right.
Back at ya. So fun.
State of Mind. That was good, man.
Thank you.